Hey guys, Tyron here from Type Fitness Solutions. Now today I want to talk to you about the perfect diet. And a big question that sometimes people ask me and they get confused is, what is a perfect diet for fat loss? Well, there isn't none. There's no perfect diet for fat loss. There's no perfect diet to get yourself healthy. You have to basically individually consider what your body's functions are diminished in and what your body's functions need support in. And that's what your diet should basically consist of. Now, definition of diet is foods that we habitually eat. So technically, you're all on a diet. So what I try to tell my clients is stop using the word diet, because diet has a bad meaning to it. What we need to do is start looking at foods as a source of nutrient value to support certain functions in our body. Now, fat loss is a function. Now, the way we lose fat biochemically is the same. The body doesn't know what you're doing, right? Whether you're on a keto diet, a low carbohydrate diet, a high carbohydrate diet with calorie control, energy in, energy out, if it fits your macros, whatnot. All these sorts of diets in premise will do the same thing inside your body. Now, having as many tools in your toolbox is the easiest way to actually go, oh, okay, I need to do this, I need to do that to support certain functions of my body. Now, when you're talking fat loss becomes in two sections, okay? You're either a sugar burner or a fat burner. Now, there's two forms of fuel that your body will use, is sugar and fat. Now, your body will use the most readily form of energy it can break down to make ATP, and that's always sugar. Sugar is the most easily chemically broken down in our body into small enough molecules to convert it to ATP to give us energy, okay? Fat is the second. So the way the body loses fat is you need to minimize the intake of sugar that is readily available inside your muscle cells, inside your bloodstream, so you start breaking adipose, fat tissue, off the body, okay? If there's a readily form of energy available, meaning sugar inside your bloodstream, it will not burn fat, plain and simple. It will use all the sugar first before it starts metabolizing fat and breaking down adipose tissue. So within that, everyone is different. Sometimes a low carbohydrate diet is necessary for a period of time, but as you have less fat available on the body because you lose it, you will actually need to give your form another readable form of energy, okay? So staying on a ketogenic diet for long periods of time can actually be very detrimental for your health, or for fat loss as well too. I won't go into the health issues, but let's talk about fat loss. So when blood glucose is minimized, and we do that by using certain foods that don't actually elevate our blood glucose levels effectively, it doesn't mean just eating a high-fat diet, okay? You can actually use carbohydrates as well too, okay? Minimizing the intake of sugar and depleting our muscle glycogen leaves our bloodstream and our muscle stores readily available for more sugar in, okay? So within that, when those sugar levels are down, the body will actually start looking for another form of energy, fat, adipose tissue, to break down fat to make ATP to give us energy. So contrary to what a lot of people do is they start dieting, and I don't really like that word, they start losing weight by restricting their energy intake, right? And within that, where there's no energy in, your blood glucose comes down because there's not enough nutrients converting into glucose. So you start metabolizing fat. But when you metabolize fat and there's less fat available on your body does require energy. So within that, you need to actually be giving it some other form. So yes, you can add more fats in there to actually break down fats, but the leaner you are, the more insulin sensitive you will be, which means the more sugar you can actually handle, okay? So when you're looking at these diets, like what's the best diet, like the keto diet, Atkins diet, paleo diet, low carb diet, holy shit, they all work the same if you can fucking stick to them long enough, right, for them to actually take effect. Right? So when you're looking at food intake and what our diet, so a diet by definition, food we habitually eat, you want those foods to perform a certain function of the body, and fat loss is a function, okay? Organ function is a function of our body, okay? So whatever nutrients you're putting in for food, you're wanting those nutrients to actually support specific functions. Different nutrients inside different foods support different functions, okay? So when you're looking for this perfect diet, there is none, okay? You need to look at the nutrient density of the food that you're consuming to perform the functions that you wish your body to start doing more of. Look for the functions that have been diminished from your lifestyle, find the functions that need supporting to get the result that you want, and put those nutrients in. Backtrack that to the foods that contain those nutrients. They're the foods that you should be consistently eating in your diet habitually to get the result you want. When that result or that function has improved, you change your dietary habits to perform another function. So there's no perfect diet. Everyone should be eating all sorts of foods, all ranges of foods, even chocolate croissants every now and again, but you've got to understand what functions these foods do to your body and what functions you wish to support more.